Yes, it's Matthew Miller. I'm back on this third segment, and I actually continue on covering about those poisons being added to our food, water, and also our air as well. And now I'm moving on to the MSG, Monosodium Glutamate, and they've been added to a lot of our foods, probably tens of thousands of products as well. And yes, when I do eat something that contains MSG, probably I do get headaches within an hour, or probably not even within several hours. And when I do get MSG, sometimes I do wake up with headaches as well. And I do experience some bloating around my stomach as well. I feel like I'm sort of like putting on weight as well, me. Well, for me, I'm pretty much sure out of shape, probably like about 10 years ago. I was like on about 70 kilograms, now I'm probably about 92 kilograms as well, so I put on quite a lot. It's just because I've been eating those foods, and I also want to say to myself, oh, I'm not going to worry about it, though, I'm just going to eat what I like, and I just saw ending up becoming like Jabba the Hutt. And yes, I'm still living with the people that still not aware of what's happening around them as well. Instead of just eating what they like as well. All the stuff that contains aspartame in shit, but not me. I sort of came off the aspartame as well, but uh, for me, about avoiding the MSG is actually quite difficult as well, because they do cook something that does contain MSG. Alright, that's all I'm going to say about it right now. Alright, let's move on to fluoride. And yes, some people think it's actually good for our teeth. Oh, let's add it to water because it will help their teeth. And to find out, there's been a lot of people coming with dental fluorosis. Dental fluorosis, yeah. And to know that it's not actually good for you, it actually makes your teeth more brittle as well. And yes, Hitler had used it in the concentration camp with something for it. They added into the water just to make them more docile, more controllable as well. That's what the Nazis did as well. And Stalin as well. They used fluoride nerve gas as well. No, that was the scientist, but it wasn't. Probably got that one wrong as well. And it's also added to rat poison as well. 1080 contains sodium fluoride, but it's actually instead that it's actually sodium fluoride acetate. And yes, it contains fluoride. 1080 does, and it contains those three elements in the periodic table: oxygen, fluorine, which that's fluoride, and sodium. And that's what 1080 contains. And the world became the first producer of aluminium and sodium fluoride, and fluoride is used in concentration camps to actually make them more docile, make them more controllable. And that's why it's been added to our drinking water as well. Just telling it, say, oh, it's good for our teeth, we should be brushing with it as well. In which for me, I had stopped brushing my teeth with fluoride years ago now. I probably even can't remember when I did stop using fluoride. And I start using some natural, made of natural ingredients that don't contain fluoride, or I just brush with some baking soda as well. Yes, and there's a article about it as well. I think I should actually tell that part on the end of the show. And as the main ingredient in rat poison, it's in the main ingredient silent nerd gas, is the main ingredient in Prozac. Fluoride destroys the brain, so the pineal glands, the bones and organs, and causes cancer. Guess why fluoride is related to our drinking water? It has nothing about keeping your teeth healthy and clean. It has nothing to do with that. And fluoride actually is not a nutrient. It's not a nutrient. It does have bad history of it as well. So let's moving on and of course I have covered about the about all the chemicals being added to our air to stop global warming, like, and people have been finding aluminium, whatever you like to call it, in their rainwater as well, and barium and strontium as well, and it's been sprayed in the air, and people are still starting getting problems as well. And it's just they're just spraying just to trying to stop global warming and that, just telling us, oh, it's for your great good. We need your engineering. And to know that, it's just they're just spraying us to actually to reduce population, and that was on the Georgia Guidestone, which I had mentioned in the previous episode as well. Well, let's go into the cigarette industry. And yes, we all know smoking is bad for us, and I just looked onto the article just today, and England had actually banned people from smoking in cars that actually do contain children in it as well, which I saw agree a little bit about, which because yeah, secondhand smoke will contain all the toxins that have been breathed out from the smoker's mouth as well. First, they contain like cadmium and the propane, but like the furic acid, which that's and methane, and arsenic poison, and carbon monoxide that's harmful as well, and methanol, in which that's rocket fuel, and pain, all the stuff, and nicotine, which is they use it for insecticide as well, but nicotine is always inside the tobacco plant as well, and that's why insects don't really like it as well, and it's also a bit sticky as well. Because yeah, I have actually grown some tobacco plant before as well, and does require a lot of nutrients to get the leaf as well and growing right and have it cured as well. And for people who actually really want to smoke, it's always their business as well. They're only just pretty much harming themselves, that's all. Well, and yeah, if you want to keep on smoking, it's always best that you do grow your own tobacco, cure your own tobacco, and sort of cut it out and roll out and smoke it up and that though. I'm not actually encouraging people to do it though. Well, but we got those greedy tobacco companies like the American Tobacco Company, the Philip Morris, the Brown and Royson. And yes, they don't really care about people's health or to get them to enjoy it. They care about profits. And yes, people been in the old times, people, all those conspiracy theorists telling us that it was bad us, that smoking is bad for us, that it was actually killing us. And yes, now that's actually been made known now. and there's been lists of about 600, and that's been approved by the US government of the use in manufacturing cigarettes. And yes, well, if you still want to try to, yeah, that's why we got actually able to boycott the tobacco companies as well. If you smoke it, it's probably best that you do grow your own tobacco and as well. So, because that way you're not actually adding chemicals as well to it as well. Yeah, there we are. For now, that's all I'm going to say about it now. You know, it's been an exciting episode though. We can get to cover those poisons as well. And yes, there's still a lot more poisons that I haven't actually covered as well. That's why I can show out this chemical maze. It shows you all the E ingredients, though, the E numbers as well, which you do find in on food if you're living in New Zealand, Australia, and also in the European Union. And they will actually contain it as well. And where it is. See here, where it is as well, but I can't really read it as well because I'm sort of trying to show as much as I can. And there's a website that says that www.chemicalmaze.com. If you really want to buy the books online as well, you can so as well. If you do find one in the health shop, you do surely gotta get one though, because it will be useful and it will help you to make better choices at the supermarket. Well, and yes, when I actually went to the supermarket, when I saw find bacon, and you can't actually find any bacon that doesn't contain sodium nitrate. And let's get to it as well. I'm going to try to find it. And it is used as a preservative as well, just to make sure it's been kept, making look it's fresh and that though. But yeah, it says it's been caused nausea, stomach upset, headaches, and many other illness as well. And there's also some that's called sodium benzo. So yeah, it's just these words are hard to pronounce as well. Yeah, benzo, yeah. So and they're actually also being added to like soft drinks as well and some drinks as well, and it does cause a bit of hyperactivity, same with the food colorings as well. And also I'm thinking about doing some, I'm going to be doing a fourth segment as well, just to do a closing as well on this, on about the chemicals as well being added to our food. So I'm going to probably do an overdrive. I was planning only to do about 3 segments, but I think I'm going to probably be doing the fourth as well. So it's just so I can actually cover some things as well that I'll need to show you as well on this broadcast as well, on this episode, while I still could. So I'm just going to pretty much stop right here for now, and I'll see you on the next segment.